All right, hello everyone and fellow nature enthusiasts. This video is going to talk about some of the projects that are underway at our community gardens and wildlife sanctuary in hopes to create a space for people to interact with nature, people to get in touch with their own inner nature, and just play and discover. So I wanted to show you this field ahead with the tarp down is going to become a wildlife meadow where we're going to sow seeds of different wildlife flowers that's, friendly for the bees and butterflies and birds will enjoy. So that's what's happening there. But also what we've been working on since, let's say, early winter until now, May 5th, is reestablishing the ancient way. And we've been working on this with a handful of volunteers. And you can see the ancient way will eventually lead to the Watuppa. There's an easement that allows access all the way down there. This used to be an old cart path that would actually go to the farmhouse before the new one was put in. But obviously we have a lot of work to do on that end. And we have established basically a first draft. I mean, there's still some work to do, but we've cleared a first draft of the ancient way from the farmhouse all the way down to the brook. So we're gonna take a little guided tour and I'm gonna talk about some of the inspirations that have come up. But as we're doing that, I just wanna say right now, a big shout out of thanks goes to all the volunteers who have made this possible. And there's been a handful of those have been sort of a main support in making this possible. So I want to acknowledge Ruben Barbosa, Allison Medeiros, and also Marianne Robinson. So thank you so much for helping Colin and I, along with other volunteers who have come, but you guys have really been the staple in shaping this path and reestablishing it. So thank you so much. So this first little area that we're going to stop at is an example of, we have friends that are making this. They're still in the process of making it. They've done some fresh plantings this year, but as you know, everything in nature takes its time. But this is an example of what we want to offer to the community for people that want to create memorial gardens for their loved ones, and this is an example of that. So they are designing and doing work to create a memorial garden here. Now, of course, not everyone's memorial garden would be necessarily this large in space, but if you are interested in that idea of honoring someone and dedicating a garden, please reach out and talk to me about that idea. But we're going to keep going down the track just so you can have a sense of all the work that's been done by those lovely volunteers. The idea is that this will be the main track that people can walk along, but there's going to be spur paths. So I started clearing a little spur path here. That one leads to a path that I'm calling Troll's Head Way and the Indigo Path so far. And there's going to be another Will-o'-the-Wisp in there somewhere, but those are going to be fun interactive paths that have signage that will, invite your imagination. I'll pause here for a moment to show This alleyway between the two stone walls is going to be opened up, get a lot of the bracken and prickers cleared out, but this is an idea inspired by our friends Ashley and Tim. I guess at King Richard's Fair they have this fairy gardens where you take yarn and you kind of put your hopes or your dreams or your wishes, and then you tie it up in the trees, so then you walk through, there's all this yarn kind of up above you, all these different colors. So we're gonna also be inspired by that idea, and we're gonna call this the Hall of Hopes and Dreams. And we're gonna use ribbon that was from past years woven around our maypole, so already has a lot of intention woven into it, but also you can, as a visitor, come and take a ribbon and you'll be able to do the same, string it up in a tree, and it can be a representation of your heart's deepest desires. So that'll be something kind of magical to stumble upon at some point in our future. We'll continue down the path toward the brook. This spot here needs some love and attention, but eventually, inspired by Lisa's idea of putting the labyrinth along the ancient way in the woods, so it's something you can stumble upon and go for a meditative walk. At some point that will be cleared out and made into a labyrinth that you can actually will be able to access from different points. I've already mapped out the design, so I'm quite excited to get that going. So the idea is, along the trail, again, you will stumble upon different spur paths that lead to just destinations for your imagination, for your discovery, for your contemplation and enjoyment. This spot here is what we're calling the amphitheater. It's a bunch of rocks in sort of a half circle. We've already had a lot of sing-alongs here. It's a nice spot for meditation. It's a nice open area for you to sit, meditate, sing, learn, maybe some theatrics could happen, storytelling. It's an outdoor classroom of sorts. We'll carry on. And there is just another little spur path that we cleared eventually to a future lean-to spot for you to stay over and retreat in nature, back to basics, no electricity, very simple sleeping platform, an enclosed space that you can be in nature and study nature, both the nature around you outside and the nature inside you, and perhaps inspire some artistic endeavors that you might have. Can't tell you how many times while weeding in the garden I am inspired for my writings or my music. Actually, this area here we won't go to today just because the length of this video is probably too much already for your attention spans, but the sacred circle and the heartstone are that way. Another area that you can stumble upon and interact with. Just the other day there was a female mallard, or must have been a mallard couple, that had built a nest in that little marshy area in there. and it looks like they already hatched and had a successful brood, so that's very exciting for us. For those of you that are Tolkien fans, this area, once we highlight it a little bit better, is going to be called the Dead Marshes. But this is the brook. This is just over there where the gate is the laneway to our gardens from Sanford Road. And this is where we've got to so far. There used to actually be a bridge here that connected to the other side. We're gonna install a bench about in that spot so you can look out over the brook. And Colin just installed recently that wood duck box. We think it might have been installed a little too late for this season, but we're hopeful that next year we'll have a happy couple nesting in there. And it was quite an event for him to install that. As you know, wood is light and floats, so he had waders on, but that didn't matter. He ended up taking a tumble in regardless. So that's where the trail ends for now. And if you want to be part of building this up from the ground, from the very starting place, that's where we're at right now. And we hope that you reach out to us, let us know that you want to be part of this and really building something for the community, by the community. And I appreciate your time in watching this. I hope you feel inspired and maybe you feel ready to come out in nature.